This episode of the Sport Corner Siam Hockey League News is brought to you by the Big Chili magazine, where in this issue there's an interesting article about the Police General Sambat Amanravat, who is the head of Department of Special Investigations, titled Meet the Law Enforcer Who Handles the Complex Cases. Now, as you can see, I have a friend of ours back in the studio, and I've been looking forward to this all season. Welcome back, Zach.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So not only have we just finished off the regular season play, we've just had the first game of the playoffs. What did you think of the season this year? You've been doing, first off, let's tell everybody what you've been doing this year for the season.
Sure. So last year when I first got involved with the league, I was really just kind of Dom's second hand, and I got to do a lot of the stat keeping, which for me was a lot of fun. One reason my favorite sport is baseball is the stats involved. But this year we had, really out of the blue, a new face show up who had a completely different side, giving a lot of credit to Keith this year with all the videography we've done. And he needs a lot of hands on deck to help him out.
Yes,
and
he does.
Me being one of the guys who was a jack of all trades, I wanted to help out however I could and just be a part of the league and have some fun. He had me come along. I got to learn some videography, some directing. I got to do some commentating. So if you guys have been watching the SHL live broadcasts on ThailandTV.tv or on Facebook with Keith's program, you might have seen me or heard my name. So I've been doing that. So unfortunately, me and Dom haven't had our time to do the SHL news, but we had to have at least one before the end of the season.
Absolutely. So, so the season was really different this year.
Yeah. So for all of our regular viewers, you know we do a draft every year, so there's no continuity between the teams.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of folks who maybe thought with the Where's dominant season last year, that's just going to keep rolling, it was the exact opposite.
Well, to go into that, to expand more on that, they did something new this year.
Mm-hmm.
In previous years, they've had set players that will play for certain teams,
Mm-hmm.
including the SHL Elite Committee.
Mm-hmm.
This year, everybody was in the draft.
Yeah.
So nobody had any specific chosen team except for the captains.
But I bet you that if you took the average SHL veteran and you just showed them the rosters
Mm-hmm.
and you looked at the firepower that's on Aware, I think most people would pick them to finish at the top or near the top of the league standings because of the offense. Namely Corey Day, last year's regular season point leader, this year's regular season point leader. But
I think he was also the penalty leader this year, too.
I was alluding to that, is that their problem was it really took them the entire year to actually play a complete game, to put it all together. Dream on the back end, who's our two-time defending league MVP for the finals, playing so well, has actually kind of had a rough season. Part of that's because they've been playing behind a lot, so they're opening their game up more. It's led to more offense, but more goals scored against them. So, as I was saying, they're actually at the bottom of the standings, but they've played incredibly well. We're going to talk more about their victory in the first semifinal game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other great thing that I noticed this year is the parity.
Yeah, unbelievable parity this year. It's Aware, like you said, who you would have expected to really be dominant after the season they had this past year, but with the draft, really changed things around. And we had something for a first this year. With 2 games left in the season, we had 3 teams: Hertz, Novotel Spitfires, and Peak Biolabs, all tied for first place with points and number of wins. We had to actually go to them playing against each other to see who's had the best record this year.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And really, it's just been a lot of role players. I mean, you got your high-profile guys, so to speak. So for example, Mike Friesen's leading the league in goals scored this year with 14, I believe. And you got those high-profile players, but it's a lot of grinders and those dirty goals and people just coming and scratching it out and getting the victory, and the guys are coming to the rink hungry. They're looking at the stats and they're saying, right, this is our game, right? It's the top 2 teams playing this week. I want to win.
I know. And as you said, Mike Friesen, who is brand new to the league this year, came, if I'm not mistaken, he came from Dubai this year. He's not leading the league, but he's tied for first place for the number of goals. He's tied with who else? Corey Day, 14 goals apiece. Unbelievable. And a surprise in the top stats this year was Darius as well. Darius Kuntopez.
Not only can he get under your skin, he gets on the score sheet.
I know, right? I love playing against Corey because of his against Darius because of his intensity. We both have the same kind of intensity when we're playing.
And that's important, right? Every team needs those guys who are just going to kind of get on your nerves. The Chicago Blackhawks hand, we got Andrew Shaw, right? He's the type of guy, an NHLer, who just kind of sticks that little needle in, but that's an important part of the team, And then at the same time, as you say, he's contributing, getting his assists, helping set guys up. And it's been a lot of fun to watch. You've seen the goaltending on all 4 teams. They've had their ups and downs, but they've all been, pretty consistent. They stay in the games. It's fun to see the opposing teams try and figure out how they can get under their skin and how they can work against them.
And having Gabor back this year, that was a big thing. And having the new goaltender, Leo Liao.
What a season he's had. I called him the White Wall just because we had the fun moniker last year with the White Walkers with the top line and Novotel.
Absolutely.
But Leo, man, look at the stats. What a season he's had. Nearly a .920 save percentage, I believe, by far leading the league in stats. And that also gives a lot of credit to Novatel's defense.
Yeah, the Novatel's defense. They've had a really great, I'll say, first 3 quarters of the season because of how well Leo was doing, not counting Brad, the captain of the Novotel Spitfires. The defense kind of went lax. Like, hey, we've got Leo behind us, no problem. And that led, I feel, in my personal opinion, that led to the Spitfires having that 3-game losing streak at the end of the season.
No, but I was alluding or talking about with you earlier before the broadcast that I think that was the perfect loss.
Yeah.
Right? That was before the game started counting. You need
they
that
all count. They all count.
Fair enough. Forgive me. But what you need that kind of a game to kind of give yourself that check and say, like, hey, if we don't get our act together, if we don't play a complete game, this is what's going to happen to us.
Well, yeah, and then that led right into the playoffs. Now, of course, Jordan and Brad are friends outside of the rink, and Jordan did this funny thing. He challenged. Did he challenge or was
he challenged him? Did you see the broadcast?
I saw it. He saw it. He came out.
Wanted.
It was great.
0 championships. I think the message was clear.
Yeah. So challenged him to the game, and you know what? Brad came ready to fight.
They had a phenomenal game plan. I believe they scored on the opening shift.
The first goal of the game wasn't the opening shift, but it was
within the first few minutes of the game, I believe.
Yeah, first 30 seconds. So it was the opening shift. With we had Bill Bredesen.
Phenomenal game, 17 and 71. Bill Bredesen and Brad Wilson both had phenomenal games.
And Brad played more physical in this game than he's played all season. Yeah, he got a couple of penalties. Everything's on the line now. He's got to.
Yeah.
And also one of the things I was really impressed at watching this game in the semifinals, Brad was stepping in front of a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that from your perspective on the other side of the rink, but I'll tell you what, he had probably as many saves as Leo last night.
Sure. The entire Novotel defense, I think, did a fantastic job of stepping up, limiting second chance opportunities.
Yeah.
Moving the puck, getting it out of their zone.
Mm-hmm.
Old adage, best offense is a good defense. They kept the puck out of danger areas.
Yeah, they did.
They were in control the whole night. Jordan had a phenomenal breakaway goal. And then really late in the game, Roman was able to score with the 6th attacker.
Yeah.
But besides that, the entire night, they were just stymied. And they played really, really well.
But they weren't expecting the physical game. Yes, it's not a checking league, but they weren't expecting the physical game that the Spitfires brought to them because they haven't played that way all season.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say is like they were setting up plays. This was not, by any means like a padded score sheet.
No.
Leo and the rest of that team earned all of those saves. They earned that victory.
Absolutely.
They really took it to Hertz, as you said. Played physical, got the early lead. And then never let it go.
No, they definitely didn't let it go, and they fought hard. I'll be honest, I'm a Spitfires fan. I've been a Spitfires fan since day one. And, I just like the first season 4 years ago, I was like, wow, I like their jerseys. And then I've been a Spitfires fan ever since. So I'm really kind of excited this year. So watching the Spitfires, they being tied for first place, and now they've won the first game in the playoffs. I'm no offense, Hertz and Lance, my buddy. I kind of hope the Spitfires sweep them, but that's me.
And talking about Lance, the other goal crease, other goaltender, he had a great game too.
Yeah.
I always enjoy watching you, Lance. You were no, and I mean this genuinely. You were unorthodox, but he never quits.
No, he doesn't quit.
He will not take himself out of the play until the whistle. No. He tries really hard, and the whole Hertz team. You guys played well.
Sometimes he overextends, but that's Lance.
You guys played well, and I think on most other nights you would have been able to claw back into that game and win. But you were facing a hungry opponent.
Yeah.
And that was kind of in contrast.
Jordan set it up.
Yeah.
Jordan challenged him.
And they came ready. And that's kind of in contrast to the other game we had where you had an early lead escape.
Before we get there, we do have to talk about who was the player of the game in that first game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Brad Wilson, he had a goal.
Completely earned it.
2 assists, physical game, led his team to the victory. He had a great where he tipped the puck past Lance.
Mm-hmm.
So he had 2 penalties, but he was challenged by Jordan. He led the team, brought him out. They came out fighting, got them all fired up, and got them a huge win, 5-2 victory.
And in defense of Brad, one of those 2 penalties was offsetting with Roman because they were just kind of a physical point of the game. It's a physical point of the game, and both teams are trying to get that edge.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's kind of a wash. You're defending your team. You're the captain.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Roman, I love him, but man, he's got fire underneath him.
Ooh, it's exciting to watch him play, but I'm not playing against him.
Yeah, so our player of the game, we gave that to Brad Wilson.
Well earned.
I'm here with the Rolling Stone Pizza player of the game, Brad. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's about time you give one to a D-man.
I don't pick them. Wow, what a game. 5-2?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan, for picking us, I think we took our foot off the gas for a while. No one really expected us to play physical and to take away time and space. And when we did, they kind of crumbled. I mean, they looked weak on their skates. I was drinking all weekend, and I was faster than half their team. I don't know. Captain's got to figure it out, right the ship, or else I'll be going to bed early next Sunday.
And you got 3 points tonight?
Yeah, unusual game. I guess it's the Leos.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. See you, Dom.
And now in our second game, we had Peak Biolabs versus Aware. The 3rd place team facing off against the 4th place team. We did something really weird this year. Not weird. We decided to do something new for the playoffs. In the past, for the past 3 seasons, the number 1 team played the 4th place team, and the 2nd place team played the 3rd place team. Now, at the beginning of the season, before everything started, before we even went into the draft, they made a decision that the 1st place team was going to get their choice. They can choose any of the other 3 teams to play in the playoffs. Now, that's why we had Hertz chose the Spitfires, which then that put Peak Biolabs against Aware.
And it was a really exciting game. I was looking who was going to score first in this game because almost all season you've seen Aware get down and then press too much.
Yeah.
Right? It gets them opportunities and they can get back into the game sometimes, but more often than not, they also end up getting more goals.
Well, their number 1 scorer ends up spending most of the time in the penalty box as well. Corey
He's an
Day.
Aggressive player. He's
normally, not bad for 50 years old.
I challenge you to show me a better in shape 50-year-olds.
I'll tell you what,
the guy's got an incredible motor. And most of his teammates just say, what's my strategy this game? I'm going to give the puck to Corey.
Yeah, exactly. But then you've got Peak. They've got a team full of young Thai players. Most have played for the Thai national team. They're fast. They know how to handle the puck. They have guys like Patrick Forstner, Hideki Namiyama, and then you've got some of the old-time players who have great stick handling skills, big scorers, Michael White, Jesse Starosta, who really turned things around, Harrison Otstamel, who's captaining that team.
That's a huge loss. Just to quickly allude to Harrison, the guys had a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
I think Harrison was either leading the team or near the top of the team.
He was leading the team.
Okay. So that's a huge loss for them. But to give them credit, they've really come together.
Well, you're going to tell them what happened?
Yeah.
He was in a motorcycle accident and broke his foot. But if Peak make it to the finals, he'll be back on the ice.
Oh, that's news to me, actually.
So at least that's what he's hoping.
Okay. Fingers crossed. We hope he can make it, Harrison. We missed. Yeah, but that team has got so many really talented role players and guys who step up. Christian Olofsson on the back end.
Yeah, definitely. Very
Really
physical
solid game.
defenseman.
As you were saying, the rest of their D team is mostly Thai players, have big, hard shots.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Peem. Yeah,
Yin.
it's a huge shot.
Tankokriat, one of the strong. For a guy who looks like he does nothing when he shoots, is just a rocket when it comes off his stick.
Plays really well. Eddie McConnell.
Yeah.
You got the president of the league.
John Cheknovsky. Yeah.
So that you got a really interesting, talented cast of people, and they came out swinging.
They did.
11 seconds into the game, they scored,
which is a league record. You know, that's
There you go.
that's the
Scored
fastest goal in the
They
league.
won the opening face-off, quick pass, and boom, off to the races. And Michael White, you know, he was joking with us in the previous broadcast. You know, you got to have the teams peak at the right time. Nice play on words. And I was like, here you go. You wrote your script. That was my storyline. Aware comes down early.
Started strong.
They're going to start to press.
2 goals. Boom, boom.
And exactly right. They scored again less than 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Aware's in a 2-0 hole. What's going to happen?
And then after that, everything just
They
kind of
really-
went back and forth. I mean,
They coalesced. They came back together. Dream had a solid game.
Dream had a solid game, but so did Gabor. You can't
Yep.
take anything
Oh,
from Gabor.
give Gabor a lot of credit. The other teams know what to do when they play against him. You got to get under his skin, and you might have him drawing at the refs and the other team instead of, you know, maybe being all in on the play.
That happens
But
sometimes.
but you need that passion, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what makes Gabor Gabor.
Yeah,
and
it's
if
true.
if you took that out of his game, he's not going to be the same
He's
player.
not going to be the same player. No, absolutely.
So we love you, Gabor. We want you to stay the way you are. But anyway, point being is that, you know, as you said, Aware battles back, and you have this back and forth
Scored
game.
2 goals in the second period.
Yeah.
Late in the second period, you know, you had your first goal from Scott
Murray.
Scott Murray.
Godfather of hockey.
Absolutely, and then the second goal came from Brandon Vick.
Yep.
So back after having to unfortunately exit the SHL last year, he was back in Thailand. So
Matt Johnson, part of the all-flow team with the third goal, was able to tie the game after Peak had retaken the lead. And then I was salivating for overtime. Can you believe
So
we
close.
haven't had an overtime game all season?
I know, right? This is another one where this is the first time this has happened. There's been a lot of firsts in this fourth season, and of course, with a minute left, who puts the puck in the net?
Yari.
Yari
What if,
Eddikainen.
I mean, he was my
Great shot.
pick 2 for player of the game. If it didn't go to Adrian. We'll get to Adrian in a second. But I thought Yari had a really good game.
Yeah, definitely.
Grinded, right? Back checking. After they went down early, they really coalesced as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Did a much better job eliminating second chance opportunities, getting the puck out of the zone, trying to be on the attack, be aggressive, take it to Peak to try and get back in the game. And obviously they were able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, not taking anything away from Peak, they played a solid game. They had their whole team.
Yep.
That when they play as a team, they're very, very hard to beat. They played as a team, but for whatever reason, Aware just showed what they could do. So
No, Peak played really well. No penalties, right? Didn't have to go on the
Yeah.
penalty kill once in the
no
entire
penalties
game.
for Peak at all.
You know, Patrick Forsner had a phenomenal game.
Yep. So did
On-
Hideki.
Yep, Hideki played really well. Guys, the speed on that team, they throw it out to the wing and they just shoot up the boards. And they come in fast and hard. And you got to be ready to defend against them. Goaltenders have to be ready, looking for dekes. But just, you know, I think
He couldn't get any of the bounces their way. You know,
I feel like they took their foot off the gas. They had a 2-goal lead, you know, worst lead in hockey, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't quite put the game away.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah, I mean
That was me from the broadcast booth. That's what I saw.
It was another physical game,
Mhm.
and both teams were getting physical, and for the refs, they kind of let things go, which was surprising, as tight as they've been all the
very
year.
contrast, right?
Yeah.
To give the refs normally a lot of credit. They normally call a really tight game. There were some calls that maybe, you know, they swallowed the whistle, and normally I think that's fine.
Yeah,
You know, but as we were just saying, you want to try and be consistent so players know what to expect.
yeah. I mean, that happens sometimes, but I can understand why Jeremy, being the head of the refs, it's the playoffs. Let him play.
Sure,
Let him play.
and I can respect that.
Yeah.
And I will say, to their credit, I don't think there was anything egregious. Number one, number two, call or no call did not affect the outcomes of the games.
No,
the
definitely.
teams that won these games earned the victories.
Absolutely. And then the player of the game, we had Adrian Myers,
Adrian.
who is normally a defenseman, but they had him playing a forward on this night.
And I think that was an interesting move because he has an excellent tendency to move the puck forward, even as a defenseman.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He wants to be up in the attack. He's going to try and deke around you. So I liked that change.
It was.
As a personal note, just watching him play, sometimes, and this is league wide. Sometimes the guys are a little too flashy. Right? just shoot the puck. Honestly, put the puck. You're not going to score if you don't put the puck on net. And
That's true. That's true.
And sometimes I feel like the guys are trying to go for an extra pass or an extra deke when it's just make the smart play.
But I mean, Adrian, he wanted to be the playmaker that he can be, but he also was back checking, which he didn't do a lot of this year. But in this game, coming back, stopping
change the
plays,
role, change the role, and he still has the defensive mentality on the one hand.
Yeah.
And he earned the player of the game, right? Let's not take anything away from him. He played a good game.
I'm here with the Rolling Stone Pizza player of the game, Adrian. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's been a while since you've been here.
I know. Tell me about it, man. To be honest, I think it's Dream who deserves it. But anyways, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm here.
That was a really close game.
Could have gone either way at the end there. Yari clutch as ever. Incredible. Yeah, I thought our missing a couple of guys. They had a strong lineup. Could have gone either way, man. So yeah, Yari came through. It was great.
What's the plan for the next game?
Regroup. Hopefully Dev comes back. Hopefully we got some help on D to help Dream a little bit and score some goals, man. That's about it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Try and close it out if we can. That's it, man. They're a tough team. That's it. Close it out.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
And it was an exciting back and forth game, which really sets us up interestingly for Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. So in our first game of the night, we have Aware versus Peak Biolabs. What does Peak have to do to win?
Honestly, I feel like play the same way, but make it a full game.
Uh-huh.
If you guys play start to finish consistently through the whole night, I feel like you guys can win. And again, my key is going to be who scores that first goal. I think if Aware scores that first goal, they build off their momentum from the previous game,
Yeah, that's true.
and they're hungry.
True.
But by contrast, if Peak is able to score first again, that kind of takes the air out of Aware's balloon, and it makes them press. And can you take advantage of that press when they make mistakes?
But what they need to do is, if Peak can get under Corey's skin, take away their top scorer, get him in the penalty box, take away their top scorer, then who are they? They've got nobody that consistently scores every game but Corey Day, except when he's in the penalty box.
To me, that's taking a little bit away of the rest of the depth of that team, right?
They're
Justin
great
St.
defensively.
Denis, Matt Siegel,
Matt-
Yari had a
Matt
really
is a
good
great
game.
two-way skater, but he hasn't this season. He hasn't had the scoring.
If you
ability.
take away the league scoring leader from any, or this team scoring leader from any team, it's going to be tough to replace that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Matt or Justin St. Denis. They both played really well last night in the last game, but they just haven't been able to produce like they did
When your
last year.
name's called, can you put it away?
Yeah.
Corey obviously fits that bill every time.
Unless he's in the penalty box.
And by contrast, right, how is Aware going to try and get under Gabber's skin?
Ooh, that's quite. I was going to say it's quite easy, but it depends. Because I've seen where before the game, Gabor is being Gabor, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and once he steps on the ice, you just can't get underneath his skin, no matter what you try. So it all depends. I mean, if Gabor can control his temper, I think this is a different game.
Yeah, I want to see Peak be hungry, right? Play a full game, capitalize. My prediction here, I think Peak wins it, and it goes to a 3-game series.
Oh, that'd be fun to see. Yeah, definitely.
That's my prediction. I think that they have a great amount of depth, right? The back end tie talent that's on that team, the speed that they have, the heavy shots they have from the blue line. I think if they play the full game,
you can't take shots away from Patrick Forson. His accuracy is just pinpoint.
I think if they play that full game, especially if you can get if you can get Aware to press a little bit and capitalize on their mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm looking for.
And then we have Nota Spitfires versus Hertz. Can Hertz play the physical game? I've known Brad for 4 years, and when the game is on the line, when I've talked to him, he's like, we're going to play heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And when he tells me they're going to play heavy, they win. Can Hurts step up to the plate?
I really would love that game to go to 3 as well, but I just don't see it. I see the look in Brad's eyes.
Exactly.
Some more.
I rest my case.
Some more.
When
fun
Brad
trivia.
says they're gonna play heavy or they're gonna play physical, he gets his team to do it. Nobody can touch him, even if it is for 1 or 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and some more little fun trivia. Brad's unfortunately moving to Hong Kong. He's not going to be with us next year, and I think he feels it. He knows this is my last shot, and he's not going away with anything less than at least an opportunity in the final.
Exactly. So,
Hurts is a great team. I really love the way Jordan has led them.
I don't think it's going to be a three-peat, though.
But I don't see it. Surprise us, but
yeah. It'd be fun.
But the way Leo's played from the start to finish.
Especially when his defense support him.
Exactly. And when you have a chance to put the nail in the coffin, I think they take it.
I think so, too. All right. That's all for this time. We'll see you at the rink. The music for the opening and ending credits are brought to you by DJ Caucasian.
The opposite was very strong. I was good.
The Sport Corner's Siam Hockey League news is brought to you by Big Chili Magazine, the best read expat lifestyle and news magazine in Thailand. It covers interesting issues in Bangkok and the region while bringing its readers engaging stories and various exclusive interviews, food reviews, and more. You can find the Big Chili Magazine in bookstores and online at thebigchili.com.